ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਵੇਰ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਸ਼ਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਖੋ-ਵੱਖਰੇ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੂਲ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਕਿ ਮੂਲ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਵੱਖੋ-ਵੱਖਰੇ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਹੋਰ ਫੰਡ ਵੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਦੇ ਦੌਰਾਨ ਮੂਲ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਐਲਾਨ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਲੋੜਵੰਦ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜੋ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਵਿੱਤੀ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੰਸਥਾਵਾਂ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਫੰਡ ਜਾਰੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਐਲਾਨ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ। ਤੇ ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਮਾਸਕ ਪਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਹੈਲਥ ਆਫਿਸਰ ਨੇ ਕੱਲ ਜੋ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਥੈਰੇਸਾ ਟੈਮ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਹੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਹੋਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਫੈਲ ਨਾ ਸਕੇ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਰਾਇਲ ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਕਾਲਜ ਆਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਅੱਜ 230 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਮਿਲਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਫਿਸਰ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾਈ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਏਅਰਲਾਈਨਸ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜੋ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਟਿਕਟਾਂ ਮਹਿੰਗੀਆਂ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਏਅਰਲਾਈਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ।
As we gradually and carefully restart some activities, it's never been more important to follow public health instructions. COVID-19 remains a very serious health threat. Yesterday, Dr. Tam said that whenever physical distancing is not possible, Canadians should wear a non-medical mask or face covering when they go out. I want to remind everyone that physical distancing means keeping a 2-meter distance with others. As we start to reopen the economy, it might be more difficult to maintain that distance at all times, so please follow Dr. Tam's advice. Keep washing your hands, stay home, and if you need to, wear a mask. This is the best way to protect both yourself and others. Today, more than 230 new officers are graduating from the Royal Military College of Canada. They are part of a new generation of exceptional women and men ready to serve our country with distinction. You have chosen to step up and serve your country, and we could not be more proud of you. Thank you for your example. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your love of this extraordinary country. And mostly, thank you for everything you will do for us in the coming years. Congratulations to the class of 2020. The first thing I want to talk about today is what we're doing to support Indigenous people during the pandemic. Since day one, our government has been engaging with First Nations, Inuit and Métis Nation leaders in the fight against this virus. We've been listening to people's concerns and working with local leadership to ensure that communities are getting the right support. And so far, we've taken a number of important steps. We're investing in emergency shelters to help Indigenous women and children fleeing violence. We're offering interest-free loans and non-repayable contributions to help Indigenous businesses weather this storm. We're helping First Nations, Inuit and Métis Nation students and recent grads find a job this summer. And last week, we announced more funding to support the most urgent needs of Indigenous communities dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak. While all communities have had to wrestle with COVID-19 these past few months, the everyday realities of this crisis are different for everyone. To mount an effective response to this crisis, we must adapt our approach and our programs to recognize and meet the particular needs of all Indigenous peoples, including those living in urban areas and off reserve. To this end, we announced $15 million back in March to support Indigenous organizations that deliver services to these populations as part of the Indigenous Community Support Fund we had set up to help prevent and mitigate the impact of this virus. With this money, organizations have been able to give meals, groceries, clothing and supplies to those in need and offer mental health counseling. They've also provided personal protective equipment and cleaning supplies for supportive housing and computer and laptops so kids can keep up with their schoolwork. This funding is helping vulnerable people like youth, women, and elders. Indigenous community organizations in our cities and off reserve do crucial work year-round, but these days their services are in high demand because of the pandemic. We need to make sure they have the resources to adapt and grow their services so they can fulfill their important mission. So today, our government is announcing an additional $75 million in new funding for organizations that address the critical needs of the over 1 million Indigenous people living in urban centres and off reserve. This is critical work. If you live off reserve or in a city, we're working to make sure you don't fall through the cracks. You need and deserve services that are culturally appropriate, and that's what we're doing with today's investment. I think every community needs to make sure they're taking decisions to protect their members, but I think there are many ways of going about it. We need to make sure that all different orders of government, including Indigenous governments, are working together with the same goal, which we all share, which is keeping Canadians as safe as possible, recognizing that certain communities and certain individuals are more vulnerable. And I certainly know that across the country there have been excellent and constructive conversations between Indigenous and non-Indigenous leadership in areas of overlap so that we can move forward in a way that protects Canadians but also allows for a progressive return to normality. Corrections Canada has from the very beginning taken extremely seriously the responsibility of keeping both inmates and staff safe in their institutions during this pandemic. They have taken a number of steps in terms of reducing mobility between prisons, increasing the access for protective measures, and in certain cases looking at release conditions. Minister Blair will have more to answer on that. One of the things we know is that in pandemics there are usually second waves. The question that we're very much focused on is, as that second wave begins, or as we start to see resurgences in a reopened economy, how quickly are we able to contain them and control them? And that comes down to the scale of testing, the scale of contact tracing we're able to have right across the country. That's why the federal government has stepped up in its offer to provinces to support them in massively scaling up testing capacity and contact tracing capacity. We know, particularly in those areas that are still working to get the spread of the virus under control, it is going to be important to increase testing now, as we're seeing in those areas, but also make sure that as we move forward through the summer and obviously into the fall, we are ready to act extremely quickly so that the population at large won't be in situations of having to go back into confinement. But that depends on citizens doing their part. It also depends on having that testing capacity, and that's what we're moving forward on. I think we recognize how impacted air travel and airlines are by this COVID-19 pandemic. We also recognize that many Canadians are out of pocket for tickets that they are obviously not going to be using. I think we need to have some very careful discussions with airlines, with the air travel sector, and indeed with Canadians who are concerned to try and figure out a way forward where we can ensure that Canadians are treated fairly and our airline industry remains there for when our economy picks up again. Okay. I think Canadians both want to make sure they're not out of pocket, but they also want to know that we do have a future for our airline industry in Canada. It's an important thing for Canadians to continue to have airlines in this country. We need to make sure we're getting that balance right, and we're making it through this in the right way. We have already seen significant ramp-ups of testing in places like Ontario and Quebec, where there is a need for even greater testing. Last week with the premiers, I laid out that offer that the federal government could take it on, and we got positive responses from right across the country. We're going to continue discussing that tonight and talk precisely about how we can scale up testing immediately in places where it's necessary, like in Ontario and Quebec, and be ready to scale up almost instantly in places where right now the virus is pretty well under control, but any flare-ups need to be responded to extremely quickly. That is the frame that we're laying out. We don't want logistical or financial limitations to keep anywhere in this country held back from doing all the testing that is necessary. That's what the federal government will be there for.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਮਾਨ ਊੜਾ ਟੈਕਸ ਸੈਟਲਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ। ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਟੀਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ। ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਭਰਪੂਰ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੇਠ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਦੇ ਬਟਨ ਦਬਾਓ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।